Hello YouTubers, I hope you guys are doing great. I promised this lesson this week and here it is. Days of Elijah, very popular song, composed by Robin Mark in 1994. Okay, I was looking through YouTube to see what people have done, and there are quite a number of lessons on this song. But I noticed no one had really done a tutorial on Paul Wilbur's version. Okay, because he added a little twist. There was modulation, and there was also instead of the there's no God like Jehovah, he did who was and who is and who is to come. So that's pretty different from the lot. So we're going to take a look at that in this video. Okay, hope you're ready. It's just a simple 16th note strum pattern, nothing complex. So you ready? Let's dig in now. Okay, so let's take a look at the intro right away. It's pretty simple. Okay, so the intro is just G. Okay, remember we kept it at the 2nd fret. Okay, so we're actually playing the key of A. Okay, but you can think of it in terms of G. So it's just G to C. Okay, in the actual key that would be A to D. Okay, because D is the 4 of A, right? Okay, so it's pretty much playing this G5 here. So as you can see, my middle finger is right up here on the 6th string, and way down there I've got my pinky and ring on the 1st and 2nd string. Okay, so at the same time I'm muting the 5th string. Okay, you can see the 5th string is muted. I'm touching that slightly with my middle finger. Okay, so that should give me this. Okay, so it's the intro is really simple. It's just G to C. Okay, in the actual key that would be, of course, A to D. Okay, so don't get that mixed up. Okay, so let me play the chords in context. Let me try and mimic the intro, the trumpets, what the orchestra was playing with my mouth, and then play the chords in context. After that, we take a look at the strum pattern. Okay, so that's like something like that. Something like that. Okay, so it's like playing a chord and counting to 4. It's 4 beats per chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and this C here is actually a C2. Okay, so it's just dropping. I'm holding the same chord shape, but I'm just dropping my middle finger down. So this would give me a C2. Okay, so let's take a look at the strum pattern now. Okay, so I'm going to take it to my right hand in a minute, but there's a few tricks I need to point out here. Okay, so with the G5 I mentioned, the one we just looked at, there's actually a hammering on going right here. As you can see, my ring finger is lifted, so he's actually creating this effect with a strum pattern. Okay, so that's like going to a G sus4 back to the G5. Okay, so let me strum that to give you an idea of what's happening here. That's what we're going to play right now. Okay, so it's just strumming a 16th note strum pattern and then hammering on with your ring finger. Okay, so let's take a look at it right. Yes, so I talked about this strum pattern in my very first video, Praise Adonai. Okay, so it's a very common strum pattern. You can learn it and then vary it as you wish. So it's a 16th note strum pattern. Okay, so if you don't know how to count 16th notes, it's just counting 1 to 4 and saying E and A between the numbers. Okay, so that's like 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay, so let's mute the strings and practice that for a minute. So that's like this: 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. If you know this already, bear with me. You know, there might be someone out there who has actually no knowledge of this drum pattern. So yeah, so once you get that down, try to speed it up a bit and you should have this: 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay, so that sounds pretty straightforward. You can then add some accents. So let's put some accents on, let's say, on the 1, on the end that comes after 2, and on 4. Hope I'm not confusing you guys. Okay, so that's like this: 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Okay, so you could practice that slowly till you get used to it. Okay, so let's actually deal with the strum pattern itself for this this chord progression. Okay, so you can look that up below. It's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Let's slow that down a bit. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, so when you're really comfortable with that, you can actually play that with try that with a chord. Okay, so let's try that with the G, okay, which is A in this case. See the C? So once you have that down, you might want to speed it up a bit. So let's check that out now. Okay, so the entire progression is pretty simple. The verse and the chorus are just you know, pretty much back and forth, you know, G to C, back to G to D, you know, that kind of thing. So if you are playing all by yourself, like a solo performance, playing and singing all by yourself, you could think of some chord variations to make things interesting. But playing with a band, you know, you've got a bass and, you know, the piano, everyone backing you up. So this should be good. Okay, this chord voicing cuts through the mix, you know, pretty well. Okay, so let's take a look at the verse now. It's almost identical to the intro. So I'm going to play the entire verse for you without the strum pattern, so you know how the chords fit with a verse. Okay, and then I'm going to strum it afterwards. Okay, so here we go. These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And though these are days of great trials, of famine and darkness and sorrow, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Okay, so let's take a look at the chords now. We already looked at this, the G5, okay, and we also looked at the C2. Okay, now this section takes you a little bit out of the comfort zone, so to speak. Okay, so we're going to the 3 chord. Okay, this is going to be a C sharp minor. Okay, so and though these are days of great trials, okay, to E minor. Okay, but I got another chord voicing, okay, to make things easy for you. Okay, especially if you're actually playing and singing, you wouldn't want to be looking down too much, thinking of what you're playing and singing, right? So I came up with this one. This is a C sharp minor 11. Okay, so instead of this C sharp, I think this sounds cooler. Okay, depends on his preference actually, but I think this is easier. And though these are days of great trials. Okay, now I go to an E minor 7. Okay, so the pinky is down the whole time as a pivot, you know, to make moving about easy. So C2. Okay, when I'm going to the C sharp minor 11, it goes off. Okay, so just put this back down and move these 2 fingers up. Okay, you got your E minor 7 here. Okay, so it's pretty easy. It's just a back and forth thing. Okay, so let's try that one more time with a strum pattern. These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. These are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. Though these are days of great trials, famine and darkness and sorrow, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Okay, so just go with those chords. I'm still doing the hammer on here. You can add that if you wish, but if it's a bit too confusing doing that and singing, you can just stick to, you know, the regular chord.
Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun.
Yeah, look at the chorus. The chorus is really easier. It's much easier than the verse. Okay, so same chords, same chords. But let's take a look at how they are arranged for the chorus. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining as the sun. Have the trumpet call, lift your voice. It's a year of jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation comes. So behold, he comes is G, riding on the clouds, C2, shining as the sun. Back to G, at the trumpet call, D, lift your voice. Back to the G5, it's a year of jubilee. Back to C, out of Zion's hill. Back to G, salvation. D, come. Okay. After the singing salvation come, there is like 8 beats for you to return to the verse. Okay, so Out of Zion's hill, salvation comes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, that's 16. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's it for the chorus. Okay, now there's actually a modulation in the song. Okay, and it would be tough to actually modulate fast, with the capo. So they did something pretty interesting there. The musicians went out, as in they stopped playing, and the singers, okay, did a modulation, and that actually gives you time to move the capo, okay, one step to B flat. Okay, so let me see if I can illustrate that for you. Out of Zion's hill, salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining as the sun. And the trumpet calls, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation comes. Okay, so the last part is who was and who is. Okay, it's actually a reprise of the song he did just before this on the album called Kadosh. Okay, so who was and who is actually easy to play too. Okay, so it's we're still looking at the G shape, but we're actually in B flat now. So it's actually G to F to C and back to G. Okay, so that should sound like this. Who was and who is and who is to come. Okay, so that's what they're going for there. But I thought you could, make that sound more interesting. What you can do is just move this G shape down 2 frets. Okay. Okay, so if the first sounds better to you, you can just stick to that. G to F to C, back to G. Okay. Yeah, so you could do that, or you could also try this. I'm getting lots of options here. Okay, so I'm just playing the G5 shape here, and then who is, I just move my thumb over here on the low E. Okay, I don't move these 2 fingers, and then back to the C2, back to the G. Okay, so that's pretty cool too. 3 options for you. Choose one or mix them up. It's up to you.